Hello, everybody. The Nameless Narcissist here once again. A simple man diagnosed with NPD, giving the facts of narcissistic personality disorder and the things that go on in my head. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. But keep in mind, I am no clinician. I can only speak to my own experiences and the research that I read. And in some cases, I talk to other people as well. And that's what we have here today. Another person diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder that we're going to be talking to. And so feel free to introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? You can call me Chul. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/stonerchul. And there's more social medias in the description. So if you want to take a look at that, then all right, yeah.
All
So,
right, awesome. Not in my descriptions, by the way. I'll make a comment linking your shit though. Um, but, but yeah, so basically, everybody, what we're going to be doing today is there's this thing called the pathological narcissism inventory, which is one of the very few statistically validated forms of measuring pathological narcissism. It measures both grandiose and vulnerable aspects of the disorder. And so we're going to be going through the questions, answering them. I'll probably just put your answers in. We can see how you measure up on it because I know how I do. I'm just red in all of the aspects. But yeah, we're just going to talk about these questions. We're going to go through them, and we'll see how much of a narcissist you really are, even though you're diagnosed. But all right, you ready to get started?
yeah, let's go.
All right, first one. I often fantasize about being admired and respected.
Yeah, honestly, like 24/7. I mean, I even remember ever since I was young, the first thing that I wanted to be is an actor. And
Yeah,
honestly, this actually speaks to I feel like how yes, my lack of identity was already evident because the
yeah.
idea of hypothetically just okay, playing somebody, knowing who you're supposed to be, oh, you just check all those boxes and on top of that, hypothetically earn so much money. Yeah, that sounded like a good package, deal right then and
The
there.
fame doesn't hurt either. Dude, because I always, it's even when I was younger, I would talk about it in terms of well, I'm basically acting all the time already, more or less, or at least try and present a character to people. So it's yeah, that'd be a nice goddamn job to have.
Yeah. And also I mean yeah, even just in general, because I feel like I talk about how I don't really care about people. And I feel in a way I don't actually care about a lot of people, but it's strangely, even in my pastime, I'm always thinking of scenarios that hypothetically make me look heroic. Like, okay, hypothetically, someone's about to get hit by a car and then I push them out of the way and save them or something like that. It's not even anything about wanting to be close with anybody. It's I
Yeah.
know I just want something parasocial.
Oh,
If I could just be yeah, admired from a distance, then yes. All the
dude.
way.
Oh my god, like that. Oh, that's so real. Do you like? This is something I've noticed is that literally in all my free time, I'm never thinking in terms of oh, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm imagining myself talking to people or describing things to people or what I would do hypothetically and stuff like that. It's almost like I can only think in second person half the time.
Yeah. It's right. It's about how you would lead a crowd, right? Because that's what I think about all the time is how I would lead a crowd. Because I've thought of myself as even Jesus or something, or I'm the guy in front of the podium, just spilling the truth to the people and
Literally,
saving them.
that's literally how I like. That's how I fall asleep because I have these fantasies when I'm going to bed of oh, this is the amazing thing I could accomplish and shit like that. Oh my God. Okay, question two. My self-esteem fluctuates a lot.
Yeah, for sure it does. Because I can get super pissed off, and then right away I'll forget about it and don't really care anymore. Because it's I think one thing that I particularly struggle with, especially I guess when it comes to mental health and things like that, I don't see a consistent pattern. Because I know some people might be oh, if that bothered you, then look into it, see where the root of it is. Why does it bother you so much? And I'm just it doesn't bother me so much. It only bothered me so much right then and there. I don't care anymore. It's why would I deliberately bring back something that's negative or painful? It's I see
I
no
want to think about
consistent
that.
effect.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, because again, I this is how I usually describe it is that my self-esteem is so dependent on external validation and shit like that. If everyone's paying attention to me, I feel like I'm the greatest person that's ever existed. But then, if I'm not getting that attention, then it's oh, I hate myself. And we were talking earlier when I mentioned feeling like I'm two separate people. That's kind of how those present, is like, oh, the person that's Jacob when I am being the best thing that's ever existed, as opposed to Jacob who like is miserable.
Dude, yeah, and like okay, like the external validation thing is like so true, honestly, because like I don't understand how like people talk shit about narcissists in terms of like always wanting like external validation. But I mean, like the way I see it, isn't that not technically the real world? Because like honestly, regardless of how I view myself, good or bad,
Yeah.
other people, you watching, what yeah, whatever, like you're gonna treat me based on how you feel about me. So like in a way, I feel like in like from the get-go, it technically doesn't matter what I think about myself. So I'm just like I feel like that's just common
Yeah.
sense, but people don't see it that way. But I'm just like, what other people do to you impacts whatever is gonna happen to you, you know?
It's like the
So
most important thing that like the most important thing is like, oh my God, dude, like I relate so much. It's like the most important thing is what other people think of you, because that basically determines how your entire life goes, is how they're perceiving you, if they like you. If people dislike you, then you're gonna be constantly trampled over and stuff like that. If they like you, then you're probably gonna have an easier time in life.
yeah, it's like this might be like an extreme example, but I feel like it might as well feel that way like 24/7. I don't know if like you would like put it in that way, but it's like somebody has a gun pointed to your head. Like
Yeah.
sure you can try your best what you want to say to them, like convince them like not to like shoot you, but ultimately they have all the power to basically like blow your brains out if like yeah, so
Oh God, that metaphor is like too on point, because it's like, because then there's like that shame about being so dependent on other people's like opinions of you and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I need them to like me, but I hate the fact that I need them to like me.
yeah.
I'm gonna say very strong. Oh wait, oh shit, I already messed this up actually. Wait, okay, it's okay. We're only two questions in. I don't have my contacts in, so I didn't see the screen correctly. Okay, yeah, very much like I sometimes feel ashamed about my expectations of others when they disappoint me.
What does that
The
mean? Like
phrasing
I
of that one is weird.
yeah, like I feel ashamed of my expectations, like they're unreasonable. Is that what that means?
Kind of, it's like, because I feel like I know what they're trying to say is like that like that self-deprecation that happens when you think people are going to like, fuck, how do I put it? Oh, this is so hard because I know what they're trying to describe. I just don't know how to describe it exactly. It's like when you expect somebody to do something for you or whatever, like you expect a degree of loyalty and shit like that, and like you almost hate yourself because you like tried to rely on somebody. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, then I think like no, I know what you mean because it's like I can desire relationships or like whatever, and it's like I want to hypothetically like connect
Yeah.
with like somebody, but it's like the question always lingers in my mind though, like how much power do they have over me? Because like I think like
Mm.
yeah, you know how it is. It's like every relationship that I have, like yeah, it's always like who's calling majority of the shots, and I always think about that like 24/7. So like when I'm with people, I have this like love-hate relationship with them, I guess, because it's like I want them to praise me, but then also at the same time, I do hate that I want them to praise me, but then
Yeah.
also at the same time, I would hate if they didn't praise me or like
Like,
say anything of like validating to my ego. So I'm just like, what am I supposed to do from there? Like,
no, literally, like I had a good example there for a second. My ADHD is like off the charts today, I guess. But no, like that idea of it's like when somebody like there's like this it's a self-hatred for trying to depend on people or caring about people and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like, oh, I expected this thing from this person. Then they fail me, and I'll probably get angry at them too, in fairness. But then I'm also thinking, I only need myself. Why was I so stupid to rely on somebody else?
I guess like honestly, like because like when you were talking about all that, it kind of just like the thought just crept in my mind, which it kind of just like also like why don't I just have godlike abilities? So I wouldn't need other people, and I could also rely on.
Yeah.
Maybe I would still want their praise, but I'm just like I guess like maybe it's projection in the sense that like okay I get mad at other people because I know that I can't be god, so if they're not worshiping me like 24/7 then like yeah I'm caught in this like annoying state.
No, dude, I fucking get it. Oh my God. That's so funny. Okay. Oh, okay. This one's going to be interesting because me and you didn't talk about this prior. I can usually talk my way out of anything.
I think so, but I don't think it necessarily means that like people like me because like throughout my life, like yeah, I've been pretty confrontational or like let's
Yeah.
just say like like argumentative and like stuff like that. And I'm pretty good at like making up like counter arguments on the spot because like okay, I'm an INTP. That's not super relevant, but I'm just like, yeah, okay, if anybody likes typology, yeah. So yeah, and I know they want to give all that glory to like ENTPs, but I think NTPs in general are just good at like let's say arguing or like debate and like stuff like that. So I don't know if like talk my way out of it is like necessarily the thing, but I
Yeah.
think a lot of times I have made people feel stupid and I guess if that's called my cope, like whatever, like it's already good enough for me. Even if I don't get my way, I'm still satisfied if I know that you're just as miserable as I am. So take that as you will. I'm just being honest.
That's fucking funny. I love that. Okay, like what about okay, so what about like let's say you did something shitty to somebody, like just think of like some example of that. Do you think that like you can basically just like completely override their like accusations by just being charming and stuff like that?
Um, I don't know if it's about charm because like to be honest, like okay, I mean I guess I'm less stereotypical in the sense that like I don't necessarily always need to be liked, but like okay, I mean, this is why I said I guess I'm like kind of more on like the covert side because like I'm not gonna cap and I don't want to speak for like anybody else, but like I feel like I'm covert if I can use that like straight up for this reason is because like I kind of feel better about myself if I know that people like severely hate me. Sometimes. Like at times because it's like
I get it.
because like
I
I because
get
like
it. Like,
I know that if they're upset, I call the shots. If they have to keep
yeah.
whining and complaining to me, then like they have to make me beckon to like their will. So in a way, that also makes me feel powerful. Or else, like I'm not gonna lie, I do have an immediate mentality that like, okay, if I can't win, I don't mind sacrificing everybody else.
Oh God, yeah. It's like oh, like just kind of like take the whole damn ship down with you kind of mindset. Because I oh trust me, I get that. Um, that's it. Like, but what you said earlier, that's interesting because I always say I don't always say this, I guess, but like I feel like I want people to like admire me and love me, etc. If I can't have that, I would prefer their hatred to their indifference because that indifference just messes with me. Holy crap. Oh, but that makes sense to me. I love
It's
that.
like it's like if you can live in their head like rent free at least, then
You
like
still
no
got
no
you
matter
still
no
got
matter
control.
yeah, you guys don't have to be together anymore, but like, you're still like crippling them every step of the way. That probably sounds fucked up, but it's like, like admittedly, like okay, it's still my power. It would still be our power, yeah.
Yeah, like it's oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. Trying to think of it's like you're not. I guess the only way I can really think to describe it is like you're still not irrelevant. You're not like just nothing to that person. And there's like a power in that. There's a power in
Yeah,
being
it's
able
like
to
like
like affect people. Like if I hurt somebody really bad and they're obsessing over me every day, like there's like wow, so I am so important that like they're
yeah.
still doing that.
Yeah,
I'd be
because like
more offended if they didn't think about me.
they can't cover your eyes and pretend that like they can't cover their eyes and like pretend that nothing happened.
Yeah, it's I'm too good for that, obviously. Okay, it's hard for me to feel good about myself when I'm alone. Ooh, I'm curious about this one for you.
To be honest, yeah, because I feel like when I am alone, I realize just how like empty and like blank I am. And it's like I think I spoke about it before when I spoke about like I don't know, I guess like being an actor or even just like
Yeah,
thinking about like other people praising me. It's like I'm not really thinking of people as people, but I want like like the crowd to like me so to speak. And it's like I'm not gonna lie, when I am by myself, yeah, I'm fantasizing a lot about like those things. I don't even see those
constantly.
people as people, these made up people in my mind. Like they're just like I want worshipers, quote unquote. Yeah.
I felt that so hard. Yeah, like for me, it's like if I'm alone, again, I'm like constantly like thinking about, oh, like imagining scenarios where I am being popular or somebody's like, or I'm like convincing somebody of some weird academic debate, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, it's like it's hard to like exist in a way like I don't know. I don't feel like I even exist when I'm alone, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. Because like there's
Yeah,
nothing to like look into. So it's almost just like how am I supposed to know what I think of myself unless I'm seeing it projected onto like somebody else? Because it's like,
literally. It's like how do you know who you are if somebody isn't telling you?
yeah.
Like, oh my God. All right. I can make myself feel good by caring for others.
I can make myself feel good by caring for. Yeah, I think so. But I don't think it necessarily means that I care about them. I care about the fact that it makes me look like a good person, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Or it's like it's not even necessarily like a selfish thing, but I feel like it's just wired in the programming. Like, oh
I
yeah,
know what
okay,
you mean.
whatever.
It's like this is one of those questions I just dislike the phrasing. It's like because it's like I will go out my way to do nice things for people because it makes me look awesome. Like it's like, oh, I'm proving this person I'm a loyal friend and good friend. They'll appreciate me more, and also people will admire me for being self-sacrificing, I guess. But it's never like it's not like I want to show care. It's I want to show generosity. That's what it is. If
Yeah,
that makes
yeah. And it's like I don't know why this makes like a lot of people uncomfortable when you like say it out loud and people are like, "Oh my gosh, so like narcissists are fake X, Y, and Z." But I'm just like I mean like I see it the same way and I really liked that one
yeah,
video you made. I don't remember if it was on like TikTok or YouTube where it's like, yeah, it's hard for us to not see everything as like manipulation because like I can accept niceness from somebody, for example, but it's like I'm
yeah,
not gonna think that you didn't do that strictly just to like let's say fill your own ego or like make yourself like look good or something. So it's like I don't get why, for example, because like I know that like yeah, like some people watching this are probably going to be like, oh, see, narcissists are fake, well about this and this and that, but I'm just like I can't comprehend it that way because like to
yeah.
me that's just how everybody acts. Like niceness is not strictly selfless. Like
Yeah.
it is for you. It makes you feel like a good person.
See, and that's the thing is that like people like they view and like and I would say that like because for me it's like if somebody is like nice to me like that, like I'm always like oh like they have an ulterior motive, they want to be liked, they're trying to look good, what have you, who cares? But like I just because I think that's how the world works, I'm not mad about it. Like even though I think they're trying kind of being kind of manipulative and stuff like that, I'm kind of like whatever. Like you're trying to get your needs met, and this benefits me, so like who cares? Cool, awesome. And the idea that like and even with like non disordered people I'm always like well you're saying that you're not getting something out of it by being nice to somebody like I get it like they like enjoy it from a more I guess genuine kind of perspective but it's like obviously you're still you like it makes you feel good to do this thing there's still a selfish component to it and it's
Yeah,
hard for me
yeah.
to kind of be like oh yeah they're just doing this because you know they just want to help the person it's like but you want to help them because that makes you feel good right.
Yeah, I'm glad you used that word because like I don't know if you'd agree with me, but like do you think everyone's selfish? Because like I truly do. And I know a lot of people are gonna say I'm projecting perhaps, but I'm just like that I truly do believe that. Like I'm selfish, everyone's
Yeah.
selfish.
I flip flop nowadays, if I'm being honest, because it's like I think everyone's selfish. It's so hard because it's like I can't comprehend how somebody would think when if they're doing something altruistic if there wasn't some kind of selfish motivation behind it. But at the same time, I know I'm disordered, so I'm just kind of constantly bouncing back and forth between thinking everyone's selfish and shit, and then on the other hand, being like, okay, but I know my view of the world is skewed. I struggle with it a lot, if I'm being honest.
It's like because like even when people say that like oh it's not selfish because you didn't include yourself in like the decision making, I'm just like I don't
Yeah,
understand how you're supposed to run away from yourself. So like if you said that you don't belong like in this equation, you still made that evaluation like for yourself because like you thought it was worthy that you don't belong in this for like somebody else or like something like that. Because like I don't know, like because like when I just think of somebody calling somebody selfish, that to me is already selfish in itself. Because like okay, I know I low key complained about people saying that we project, I guess, or like something like that. But I feel like that's just something that like human beings naturally do. And I actually
yeah,
spoke about this in like one of the videos that I made, where it's like, because like if somebody's calling someone selfish, they're upset because that person isn't following the expectations that they expect them to behave. So it actually looks pretty ironic to me when we're calling each other selfish because like we're all hypocrites for that, to be honest.
and hell, I mean, like fucking trying to tell somebody that they are not apply that they are not basically adhering by the moralistic standards that they have is inherently to like what's the point other than to basically defame that person and say oh this person is flawed for not adhering to this and there's a selfish component in that because why would you be doing that if it wasn't for the purpose of kind of um raising yourself up and making the other person look bad in comparison. Maybe that's projection, actually. That sounds more like projection the more I think about it. like I guess I don't understand the motivation of criticizing somebody if it wasn't for the purpose of like
Like getting them to change.
what's up?
Yeah, well, without the purpose of like getting them to like change, right? Because like, yeah, because like I don't really understand why somebody would criticize somebody unless like there's at least a small part of them hoping that they would change. Because like even when people say shit like, oh, but that's just me, but that's just my opinion, you can do whatever you want, but you know deep down that they would be happier if you went their route as well.
But that's what they want. It's like they want people like criticizing people is just adhering people to your own ideology or trying to promote yourself like 99% of the time.
Yeah, yeah, because like I always think that like every human relationship, it doesn't even have to be like negative. It's like you're always throwing an agenda. And I also mentioned that thing in like my in one of my videos where I said that like it's not even necessarily always negative. Like if like friends are hanging out and somebody's like, "Oh, let's go to this restaurant. Let's watch this movie." Like someone's like leading the way. It's not negative, but there's always somebody like, commanding, so to speak.
There's always like the oh my god, people like I know the hierarchy is like pathological, but it's like how the fuck else do you view the world? It's like there's always a hierarchy, no matter what you like. There's always
Yeah,
comparisons to be
exactly.
made. There's always people there. Like how else do you view the world? Like
Exactly,
oh,
because I'm just
people
like,
are just like different. It's like no, they aren't. There's like that person's obviously better.
yeah, and also because like yeah, even just in general, because like no matter what you have, somebody has more of it, somebody has less of it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It can be material, it can be hell, I don't know, IQ, like anything. It's just like
Yeah.
yeah, like nobody has anything in equal amount unless you fucking kill yourself together. But that's probably only one of the like certain examples
Okay,
of
not advocating for that, by the way, but
oh yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, I literally took an IQ test. Like, I got a neuropsych eval done purely to get my IQ tested because I wanted proof that I was better than people.
I'm not sure what mine is. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
I don't like. I usually just keep it vague and say I'm in the 99th percentile. Which, dude, that's what IQ is dangerous for narcissists because it's ranked hierarchically. It's like, oh, you're in the 99th percentile. It means you're better than 99% of people, and it appeals to our sensibility so much, and then we attribute so much to narcissists. I mean, to intelligence, whole thing. But yeah, I'm a genius. That's all I'll say. Um, anyways, um, ooh, okay, this is a good one. I hate asking for help.
Yeah, because like I'm not even gonna lie, like in my perfect like hypothetical world, everybody's just offering me something the moment I like let's say like even need it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they knew telepathically, or it's like the moment I ask, like I get it because it's like oh God, like I hate it so much because like if you ask somebody for help, and let's say like especially in a situation where I don't even know if it counts as asking for help. Like let's say you want to convince somebody to give you or like get you something. It's like it's annoying to have to think like what are the specific words that tug on their heartstrings that do this, that do that, just so like they like see me as somebody sympathetic and they like want to do this and like want to do that. And I'm just like, yeah, it is manipulative, but I'm just like the world forces you
Yeah.
to be that way. So it's
It's
like
like,
I'm not, you know,
dude, it's like, oh my God, that's so fucking relatable. It's or like for me a lot, it's like, how do I ask for help in a way that doesn't make me look like I'm asking for, how do I phrase this so that they offer me help without me having to ask or making me look, um,
or
like expect it.
yeah, or like without making it look as if like you're now in debt to somebody.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, well, I don't owe you. I didn't ask for help. It's like you offered it out of the kindness of your own heart because of the way that I phrased it. But yeah, dude, oh my God, that's such a real thing right there. Is like how hard, like, because I hate asking for help because it makes you feel pathetic, but like making doing the phrasing just right so that you don't have so that like they'll be receptive to it without you looking like an asshole, basically.
Yeah, and it also like even just like asking for help, it makes me feel inferior because like I can start
Yeah.
entertaining thoughts like why don't I already have the ability to provide whatever it is like for myself? It's like
Because like asking for help is like an admission of like inferiority. It's like I
yeah,
can't do this
flaws,
on my
yeah,
own, so I need your help. And it's like I hate it. I hate it so much. Fuck, that was
yeah.
relatable. When people don't notice me, I start to feel bad about myself.
I mean, not necessarily. I guess like that depends because I think like it is more relaxing at times if I don't have to worry how somebody's like perceiving me. I think I'm mostly like naturally introverted anyway, so like that's fine. But it's
Like,
like I do know I hate it that like if I am trying for something and it's like not working, then like in my mind I want to erase that person from existence.
yeah,
Or
yeah, I know what you mean.
or like remodel them, or I'm just like why is this, I'm not even gonna lie, like slave not doing what the master is supposed to do, quote unquote. It might as well just go like that, like in my mind. And it's like, yeah, it sounds so like, I guess like horrible to say, but it's like I think like, yeah, like because I'm narcissistic in a way, it's like I think the moment I desire something, I should just get it. Like the fact that I even have to reason how to get it already cripples me in a sense. I'm not gonna lie.
I know what you mean. Yeah, makes sense. I'm like, I'm like thinking, how do I answer this then? Because like for me, it's like, so if somebody doesn't know it, like I do, like, okay, this is actually a story. I need to make it. I'm gonna write this down because I need to make a video on this. But like once I was literally at a party, and a good friend of mine was basically being like the class clown, so to speak. And like everyone had it was paying attention to him. Everyone was like laughing at his jokes. And like I got like angry because I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, oh, are you guys saying that he's better than me? Like fucking you should be paying attention to me. How dare you people? I almost left. It was ridiculous.
No, yeah, like I can understand that because it's like I even feel that way towards like let's say people that have like rich parents. I'm just like what did you do to deserve that? Like you were
Oh,
just luckily born into like a family full of like wealth, and I'm just like, I know some people might say, oh, okay, well, good for them because like their like parents should offer like the best for their children, quote unquote. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, but I'm like, okay, why not me? Why
like
aren't my family like billionaires or some shit?
when I was like, oh my god, dude, like, or like, usually what I would think is like, so growing up, a lot of times it was like, oh, well, like, if I had the rich parents they had, I'd be doing so much better. Or
Dude,
like,
yeah,
how I think
exactly.
about like
Oh, yeah,
Bill
dude, yeah,
Gates.
exactly. Yeah,
What's that?
that's what I say like all the time because I'm just like they only have like all these skills or this and that just because like they were given like the opportunity for it. Like
Yeah.
if they were hypothetically in a slum, like somewhere infested with mosquitoes and disease, then they would just be worthless. But because of this coincidental accident, that okay, they have these like privileges, and it's like people look at them like they're amazing or something. I'm just like, is that just? And I know I sound like a hypocrite because I want to be praised regardless of however it works, but
Yeah.
I'm just like I guess like looking at it from the perceived victim standpoint, because like there's no in between. I'm either like I'm winning or I lose. So it's just like, yeah, I hate them. And I know it could make me look like a hypocrite, but I'm just like, I don't even know how to deal with that anyway, because I'm just like, we're all hypocrites in my eyes.
And dude, I would always be like, oh, and they don't even appreciate what they have and shit like that.
I
Like it's
honestly.
like, oh, they're like so they're like, oh, they have good family life. Like they don't even appreciate it. Blah, 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 blah.
That's a good point, honestly, because I'm just like, if they do want to throw around like the whole like, oh, everybody should be humble, then I'm like, okay, do you want to trade places? Do you want to give me your $1 million? Do you want to like, no, they're not gonna want to do that. I know they're not gonna want to do that.
Oh my god. Maybe I mean, fucking if they're narcissists themselves, maybe we can give them some. But okay, okay. I often hide my needs for fears that others will see me as needy and dependent.
Okay, yes, honestly, yes, because like I've had like so many moments in my life where it's like I hypothetically wanted to initiate hanging out or whatever, this and that, but I'm just like, I don't want to do it. It's like it doesn't even make sense, but it's almost as if like I'm trying to like mind warp other people to just like do that work for me and be like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. It's
like
I talked about it earlier a little bit. It's just kind of like this idea that like I can't show people that I have needs that I can't meet myself. Almost like I despise it. I fucking hate it so much. The idea that like, oh, somebody can look at me and think, oh yeah, he actually needs something from me and stuff like that is like humiliating.
yeah, and the fact that like they're waiting to hear the thank you, and I'm just like, yeah, I know you're supposed to say that, but I'm just like, yeah, it's like it literally feels like you're giving up a part of yourself even to just like have to say those words. At least I
Oh
would say,
god, yeah. Like because like I and oh god, and I get like so and then but then there's also this for me at least there's this combined fear of seeming ungrateful, and then I feel like that will make me look worse. And so there's like this conflicting feeling of like, well, I didn't need you to begin with, but like also I need to make it seem like I'm grateful, and I just get really conflicted about it.
Yeah, I have like contradictory feelings like that. Like in general, it probably doesn't make sense to anybody that's like normal, because it's like I want to be appreciative, but I also don't, and those two things feel real to me, even if they don't make sense together. Like,
Narcissism is the fucking disorder of contradictions. I swear to God. Like, and because I mean, how it's like, oh, I was talking about this earlier, how like there's so many people who will be like, oh, wait, you think you're better than everybody, but you also hate yourself? How does that make sense? And I'm like, I don't know. It just does. That's just how it
yeah,
works.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. I can make anyone believe anything I want them to.
I guess if I talk to them long enough, but probably not. Or I don't know, because like, okay, if I talk to somebody long enough, I can surely make them feel stupid, I think. I don't know if that's necessarily them believing me, or I
Yeah.
always think that it's like, okay, it's like they know they're wrong. They just don't want to admit it because they got like schooled like again and again and again.
I always feel like if I disagree with somebody about anything, I'm always just the entire time I'm just thinking, oh, like clearly they're like I just can't shake this feeling of, oh, clearly they're wrong. They have to know to some level that they're wrong, but because of their emotional attachments or something. Like for example, university is a good example of this because like I've had friends in the past who like they went to college and shit, and I would critique the college system and say, oh, it's not effective. It doesn't actually educate people. It's kind of a business scam, whatever. And they would like fight back on it. And like in retrospect, they probably did believe it, I guess. But all I could think is, oh, they're only saying that because they went to college and wasted their fucking money, so they can't admit that college is fucking
True.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, because like haven't they been criticizing for like the longest time that like when you go to college, like you take so many unnecessary classes that like realistically are not even gonna help with the main thing that like you want. So like it puts you in more debt. It puts you in like, yeah. So I'm just like what yeah, why are we defending these things?
I do like I could go on a whole rant about the education system in university because I went to college for a few years, but I never graduated just because I hated it because mainly for that reason is that like there was something I was like genuinely passionate about trying to pursue that, and they're like, well, you better take this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm trying
it's like they said you have to willingly step in shit first. Like
to,
why? Why?
and like, or like, oh, what I hated the most was like colleges have these like classes that are like, oh, like a class that's like, oh, how to be successful at this university and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm fucking paying for this? Really? I hate this. Oh my God. Okay. But wait, let's uh, okay. I get annoyed by people who are not interested in what I say or do.
Yeah, because like I've noticed that like throughout my life, I think like okay, like it's not necessarily entirely just because of my NPD. I think like yeah, like my ADHD as well. Like
Yeah.
I've had a lot of moments where I kind of I guess you could say like conversation hostage people. But I think like that's just because like I have a tendency to be like want to be like super accurate because like I can't stand the fact that like oh I say something wrong, blah blah, this and this and that. And a lot of people are not necessarily too accommodating for that, and I can't do anything about it. But I know that like deep within me, I'm just like, you should listen to me. Like you should be strapped to a chair, and I should have like a megaphone through your ear. Okay, that's just exaggeration, but like like it feels like that. I won't do anything, but it feels like that. I'm just like, yeah, like I have like all these things inside of me that are just like, how dare this person think that like I'm not actually entitled like to their time because like if I'm giving you what I want to say. Like if I made you worthy in any like capacity that I'm gonna give you my thoughts, and I'm like, you better listen to all of it. Like
Honestly.
that's what I would say.
It's like oh like you are blessed that I'm basically giving you all this information that you didn't know before, and like how dare you not be grateful for it? How dare you not be so invested?
Yeah, like yeah, because like I've noticed that and I do kind of want to fix it. Like it's just because of like okay, let's say ADHD and like other things, but like yeah, but like I do have a tendency to like info dump, but I'm just like in a way I'm just like see like look how much I know. I bet you probably wouldn't be able to like spew all of this that I'm just like like shoving in your face right now. So
Yeah, because that's usually what it is for me. It's just like if I explain anything to anybody, like 99% of the time, it's just to show off how smart I am, how great I am, how I know everything. I'm a genius. I wouldn't disclose all my intimate thoughts and feelings with somebody that I didn't admire. Now, this one's interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why that necessarily has to be like a narcissist thing, because I'm just like, is
Yeah.
everybody entitled to you? Like I don't think so. Because like I don't know if like most people operate where like they just naturally trust other people. I'm just like I have to evaluate each and every single person before I know. Let's say I want to tell them something like really personal. Like even if I don't hate that person, I'm just like why is anyone entitled to that information unless I give it to them? Yeah.
I feel
Or do you
like
think
the I feel like the operative word is like admiration though, because I feel like it's like there's a difference between trusting somebody and admiring them. Well, okay, those kind of go hand in hand for me a lot, but like, but it's like you having to look up to somebody in order to like disclose personal feelings. I've noticed that I do that, but like it's very unconscious of me.
Oh, is that part of the whole like only wanting to belong to like a specific like special group sort of thing?
Yeah, that's what it seems like it's kind of getting at least, and what it kind of applies for me at least.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it just be a good feeling for anyone in general to be quote unquote like this sounds so lame, but part of the cool club?
Yeah, like all right, I'll be honest. I think this one's kind of lost on us. I feel like we need a normal person in here to like fucking be a referee or something because I'm like, I'm trying to. Some of these questions are because a lot of these questions are framed in a way that, and this is the thing that I hate about most self assessments for a lot of personality disorders, is that they're framed in a way that it's like obvious for somebody outside of the disorder, but then for us, it's like, wait, this question barely makes sense. Like what? Like for example, once I had somebody ask me, because I basically said like, oh, I feel like if somebody actually knows me, they're going to think I'm worthless and then leave me, more or less. And then somebody was like, well, what if they knew that you were worthless and still loved you? And like my brain fucking short circuited. I was like, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how to answer this now. I'm just gonna say slightly like me, I guess. I don't know. Bad question. I often fantasize about having a huge impact on the world around me.
See, I'm kind of at a loss for this one because I've always been nihilistic, and in a way, I don't know if
Okay,
that's made me feel superior in the sense that like I feel like most people are just like why do you think your life matters? What makes you so special? Blah blah blah, this and this and that. So like I'm not gonna lie, I think like at like certain points I realized just because I'm probably like, I'm definitely I feel like more well versed in defending nihilism compared to most people.
sure.
So and in a lot of those moments when I've been having those like philosophical conversations, like they've made me feel superior. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think making like let's say some sort of like impact like would be nice, but then hypothetically, oh, if the sun explodes and just annihilates everything, who cares about all the shit we've documented? We're like all gone. So I'm just like I'm again in that contradictory state because like if I was given God status of the universe, I know I would accept that. But then at the same time, if everything went to shit, I'd just be like, oh, see, well, why do we deserve anything? Like, fuck all of us.
I feel like I felt that way. I felt very similar to that for like a long time in my life. But like I so I feel like I get more like that the more I feel, and I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but the more I feel ineffectual, like I can't do anything great, the more that I kind of fall into, well, nothing matters anyway, so what does it matter? Stuff like that. I think it might be a little bit of a cope if I'm being real.
Oh yeah, because like if everyone's a loser, then that's just normal.
Mhm.
Yes. Like,
It's like then what does it matter? Like I'm fucking awesome. I can do whatever I wanted, but like fucking what does it matter? Whatever. Um, but yeah, no, I get that now. So all right, so I find it easy to manipulate people.
um, shit. I don't know if like easy is the word, but I think I have been able to toy with people more in the sense that like I don't react in the way that I guess like a normal person would. So I
Yeah,
guess like when I let's say or I don't know, maybe even like do like certain things that kind of like throws them off. So then I've noticed that like when you get in that state, when people are like super confused and like they don't really know how to like assess the situation, I'm the only one acting like I know what I'm supposed to do, I know what I'm supposed to say. So then it I guess even just as like a way to like survive, their brain will just go with whatever jargon that like I'm saying just so they can adjust to like the situation, be like, yeah, I know what we're doing, man, or like I got this or something like that. And then like yeah, so it works in that sense, even sometimes accidentally without even trying to do it on purpose. But yeah.
Do you feel like, oh gosh, sorry, 1 second. My ex is calling me. My gosh. So like an ex that like I'm still friends with and stuff like that. I was just taken off guard by it. I should probably call her back, whatever. I'll deal with that later. Okay, wait. But so, oh, do you ever feel like people are almost, um, like I always had this metaphor when I was growing up that it felt like people were like a machine, right? That you could type in numbers into. And I didn't really know how the machine worked, but like you knew what numbers to type in to get the result that you wanted. And that
Oh
feels
yeah.
like everyone else goes up to these machines and just randomly fucking types in numbers and crap. And you just feel like so much more adept at getting what you want out of people.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Cause like I think like I've definitely done that like a lot of times because just like I don't really know how to feel anything personal towards like a lot of stuff, even though I
Yeah.
do try like really hard. So it's like I like the only thing I've been like left to do is that like if I notice that like certain people have like specific reactions to like certain things, like you notice a pattern, and maybe most people wouldn't like necessarily log that in their mind, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, what are somebody's like weaknesses? What are their this, their that? I'm just like you do realize that if you wanted to, you could use those things like to your advantage. And most people don't think about
Yeah.
it, but it's like I feel like it's the only thing for me to notice personally.
Well,
Like
I mean,
what
like,
will what
oh my
will
God, like
elevate or de-elevate someone?
like it's like oh my god people say like their weaknesses or their strengths or whatever and like and like it's not like I'm thinking like oh I'm going to use this to my advantage but like I put it in the back of my head half the time thinking this could be useful.
Like if necessary. I'm not saying that like I
Yeah,
necessarily have to, but I'm just like, yeah, it's like I know it's possible. I know it's
yeah,
possible.
exactly. It's like a safety thing. It's like oh well if this person fucks me over then I have this in the back of my pocket at least. Oh my god, okay. Sometimes I avoid people because I'm concerned they'll disappoint me.
I definitely had a phase like that, like when I was younger, because like it always like it used to annoy me. I'm just like, well, like who's gonna be in my life? Because like for example, I had a lot of friends back then that I don't even talk to anymore. Like no
Yeah,
hate like towards them per se, but it's just like I noticed like quite early on that like a lot of people, well, yeah, which is natural, like will like come and go in your life. So like I guess like
yeah,
sometimes I do have these like thoughts where it's like, is it worth it to like invest in somebody? Because like unless I know this person is like so devoted to me, they're like so like yeah, then I'm just like it's like why would I like roll the dice and gamble? Like what I
yeah.
don't get it. So I do think about those things a lot, honestly.
Because I would, because like if I could change the wording of this, in a way that would make me be like, oh yes, it's like sometimes I avoid people because I'm like, concerned they'll betray me. Then I would be like, yes, very much like me.
Oh, dude,
Disappoint seems like a strange wording though.
I don't know if this makes me sound paranoid or something, or but like okay, but like the fact that you said that like oh like you worry about like somebody betraying you, it's like I'm low key all like subconsciously expecting everyone to like do that. Like I'm not
Then
I'm not gonna do anything unless I know you actually did something, but I'm just like there's always something in the back of my mind saying that like at any
yep.
point like you don't know this person can just 360 on you at like any moment. Like I'm always thinking that all the time. So
It's
I
like
don't know if
it's
that's
impossible to trust people, honestly. It's like, oh my god. Like I dude, like it when my paranoia is like really bad like that, like I'll be anxious to pick up my phone because I'm expecting like somebody to betray me and shit like that. That's kind of a recent development for me. But like, dude, like I'm just kind of expecting the worst from everybody all the time. I hate it. Like, oh my God. Okay. So I typically get very angry. I'm unable to get what I want from others.
angry, yeah. I don't even have to be angry at somebody. I'm low key just angry, kind of like at the fact that like I don't have $1 million. Who has the $1 million? Well, a lot of people have the $1 million. Well, I guess like the
I
one
envy,
percent.
dude.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm curious, are you like, because in the diagnostic criteria, I think they make an interesting distinction where it's like, oh, is chronically envy or believes other people envy them? Which would you say you fall into? Do you think you think more people are envious of you or vice versa?
um I'm probably more envy of like other people because like I know that more or less I'm probably just like average. So like even though we people fight with their like stupid dynamics or like some shit like that. Most people are most likely in the same boat. Yeah, so I think like I am more like chronically like envious because like it always annoyed me, not even necessarily like yeah, within like making some sort of like political statement. Like I always just thought it was like ridiculous, for example, that like why does 1% of people have like so much money and the
Yeah.
rest of us we just have to live like this. So I'm just like we're just like losers by default to these like 1% of people. And like yeah, so I feel like so like honestly, like I know they say us as narcissists would be envious, but like it doesn't make sense to me that like not everyone is envious or like most people are
Yeah. How are you
that
not
are
envious
like
to some
admittedly envious.
degree?
Yeah, because I'm just
Do,
like
like, I'm curious, do you experience like a lot of times if somebody gets like upset with me about something or they like, let's say somebody cuts me off, right? A lot of times in my head, I'll be thinking, well, they're envious of me and that's why they did that. They just can't stand being around somebody that's like better, I guess.
or I'm
Do you
just like
experience
yeah,
something like similar?
yeah, I guess like almost like anything because I'm just like I often do always wonder because like I know I've said a lot of times that like we all like project, but like yeah, like when somebody does something like fuck to me, I'm just like what are they projecting onto me for? And like I just like to make up scenarios that like they went through something terrible. Like I don't know, like maybe they got pushed down by the stairs by some like bully or some shit when they were younger. So I'm just like maybe like they're still holding on to that. That's why they're doing this to me because yeah, they're jealous of me. They're envious of me. So I'm just like yeah,
Mhm.
I'll often like
I,
think
dude, like, oh my, when I was in the army, I had this sergeant who he was a dick to me. And I like literally like fantasized. I was like, he was fucking bullied in high school and he sees that I'm cool. So he's envious of me. And so that's why he's putting me down. Blah, 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 blah. I was
yeah,
just like
exactly.
trying to imagine any scenario that it was like came from envy.
Because like it feels like oh we're like existing comfortably in our space and like there's that person obviously very dissatisfied with themselves. So I'm just like yeah they can't handle this. They can't handle
It's
this.
yeah, exactly. It's I'm not unhappy with myself. It's everybody else. Ah. Oh my gosh. The term like they can't handle us is like something I go back to so often. Oh my god. Okay. I sometimes need important others in my life to reassure me of my self-worth.
Oh, what was that first one?
I sometimes need important others in my life to reassure me of my self-worth.
Oof. I feel like I do more than I'd like to admit. Because I feel like the part of me that wants to be like super independent and like not rely on anyone is like still there. Because I'm just like, because like if I truly, I mean, like I've entertained the thought to be honest. Like while growing up, I'm just like, oh my gosh, all these people suck. Like, why can't I just be a hermit in the woods? Like, it's technically not impossible, but I'm just like, oh shit. Then I would have to master so many things because like I'm probably not a jack of all trades. Well, I
Yeah.
haven't tried a lot of things, so who knows? But I'm just like
I
yeah.
have.
So
But yeah, it's like that, like I mentioned earlier, just that juxtaposition between, oh, I need to be independent. I like I only need me, but at the same time, I also need other people to love and adore me. Like I it's hard. It's hard.
yeah, I mean, because like I want them to validate me. Yeah, I only when I want them to like validate me, or essentially like yeah, I mean like yeah, it sounds so conceited, but like admittedly, it's like I want to have people only when I want to have them, or like
Yeah.
I'm wrestling how to like deal with that because like yeah, obviously there's also a part of me saying I don't need people, so I'm just like, does it just depend on the situation, or do I just not know what I want, or I don't know.
Yeah. It's one of those things that's like I feel like no matter how much I think about it, I'm not gonna be able to rationalize how it actually makes sense. I
It's like
just know how I
yeah.
feel and shit. That's kind of like,
It just feels like you're yeah, it just feels like you're hitting a brick wall constantly. Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, does it? Okay, when I do things for other people, I expect them to do things for me. So like transactional relationships, basically. Um,
Yeah.
and I'll actually start this one off just because I'm like, yeah, like that's why I get angry. I feel like that's where my entitlement comes out the most, is because like I'll be like, oh, I'm helping everybody, whatever. And then when they don't do what I would expect me to do for them and crap, I get like just really pissed off because I'm like, oh, this isn't fair. You're betraying me. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't know if you'd agree with me, but I think like honestly, I always thought that human relationships were transactional, to be honest. Like always like, okay, like what why are you sticking with me? There's obviously something that I provide for you that you can't provide for yourself, and like vice versa. Because like Yeah, I remember telling my therapist this, that like, yeah, I don't really get how, yeah, kind of like what I mentioned, how people would be like equal in a relationship, because like, for example, someone makes majority of the compromises, and you'll know that if you like list things down and like whatever, things like that. But I know some people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's toxic, why would you even think that way, or something like that. But I'm just like, see that, like, that's what I'm trying to say though. Most people don't do that because they want to live in the fairy tale that like, oh, there's a fair give and take, or like, oh, there's compromise in like a relationship. Like that's not true. Sure, maybe yeah, both people do compromise at times, but I mean, like, there's no equal compromise.
People are like, oh, like if you really love somebody, like you're not doing it for like the hope of reward. And I'm like, fuck off. Yes, you are.
Yeah, because like even if
Like,
like, yeah, even if it's not like material, like if like, okay,
yeah,
like you get something out of me if, for example, like let's say I care to listen to you, I care to offer you like advice, or anything like that. Because like to a lot of people, even just being heard is already like good enough. So I'm just like, that's a
yeah.
transaction, let's say.
I mean, no, like for see, because I feel like a lot of people hear the word transactional relationship and they think that it's like this very black and white one to one. It's like, oh, like I gave you $100, you give me $100 back. Like, sure, right, that makes sense. But at the same time, it's usually for me at least. It's like when I help people, it's not like I'm trying to think of a good way to describe this. See, dude, this is why I wanted to talk to you, is because like you're making me think about these things in a way that like is very refreshing. Like you're giving me some excitement about realizations and thinking about these things that I haven't had in a while, just because I've been kind of like I felt like I was just kind of like, oh no, this is just kind of, I understand narcissism, I'm the expert. But yeah, like it's like when I view relationships transactionally, but it's not like I'm expecting the thing that I gave in return. But there's things that I kind of expect from them because I did this other thing. For example, let's say I'm like, oh, I give them advice and stuff like that. I expect admiration or loyalty and shit like that. Um, and it's like, and that is intrinsically transactional, but it doesn't sound, but it's not like, I don't know. I'm having a
Well,
hard
like,
time
I think,
describing
yeah,
it.
I think I know what you're saying, because at
Yeah.
least like I would put it this way, or, like, just like anything to indicate that like that person doesn't take you for granted, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot
Because
of the
like,
times.
yeah, because like I have this power for you to feel better about yourself, and I guess like, okay, I have to, the horrible part of it is like, okay, I have to give you some power because you have something that I like, I guess like I can't give to like myself. I don't like admitting that part, but I feel like, okay, yeah, like that's what a relationship is to me, or like I can't see it any other way.
Yeah, it's like we both have to be offering things, and those things may be very different in terms of material value or in emotional value. But like it's still, there's still a interaction of like mutual benefit.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's not even crazy. I don't feel like it's even crazy. I just feel like the way that I feel like we just
Yeah,
probably view it more quantitatively than like most people do. Like most people, because everyone gets something out of a relationship and shit like that, and they expect something out of a relationship, or at least not to get things taken away from them. And I feel like
or
we're
even,
just a little
even just
more
realistic.
stringent. Hmm?
I would say we even just like look at it more like realistically, because I feel like when we mention these things to a lot of people, they don't actually have like good like like arguments to, like, debunk it. They'll just throw like their like ad hominems and like things like that, because like what I've noticed about a lot of people, and I partake in it too, don't get me wrong, but I feel like, okay, the fairy tale of love is that like the more convoluted you sound talking about it, the more special it is. And that's what most normal people want to maintain. That's what they want to maintain. And I'm not faulting anyone for that. Like I do it in my
Yeah,
relationship. I'm saying everybody does it in their relationship. So I'm just like like I'm just like, I feel like, yeah, like as a narcissist, I'm just not scared to acknowledge it. Like the actual like puppet behind the strings, quote unquote, as to like what's happening.
dude, that's the, oh my god. Like this is something I struggle with constantly, where I'm kind of like, oh, I just view the world realistically, and everyone else operates the same way. They just don't realize it or don't want to admit it to themselves and shit like that.
Yeah, like
And because of that, I'm better at it. And I know that's
I
not
said, yeah.
true, but I'm like, it feels very true.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, 'cause like I know that I said that like we're all mostly just like average, but like I look at most people and I truly just think they're NPCs. That's why they buy like just the
Yeah,
lies, but not the horrible part of it. Like,
dude. Dude, you're bringing out like the toxic parts of me where I'm trying to be like, no, that's not true. Everyone, I'm the wrong one. Um, it's so constant. Holy crap. Okay, fucking we're only 20 questions out of 30 52. So let's like speed run the rest of these, especially
Yeah,
since
yeah.
I have to go here in a second. I really gotta pee. But okay, yeah. So anyways, when others don't meet my expectations, I also feel ashamed of what I wanted. Yet we basically talked about this before. I feel important when others rely on me. That's what's interesting.
I mean, yeah, I think like a whole of a lot of the things that like we said, I think like yeah, pretty much already. I think give anyone who's watching the like yeah, of course, because again, it's like yeah, I have the power to make your life better if that's the case.
Literally, it's like well, yeah, there's like significance. It's trying to think of the
Like I
way
might
I'm trying to think of a good way to word it. It's just like, oh yeah, like I'm important because like how do I phrase it? I don't know. Yeah, like it
yeah, I'm
should
just like
that should
I
feel
might
like a
as well
factor.
be Jesus. That's what I'd say. I might as well be Jesus.
I can read people like a book.
I think so compared to most people because I feel like most people don't size other people up compared to like us cluster bees. Not even necessarily with like malicious intent, but I'm just like like I think we often think about like okay, why is this person doing what they're doing? So yeah,
Yeah.
we can
Oh, like
easily create a psychoanalysis.
I think the section 3 of the DSM puts this in really good wording where it says that narcissists can be hyper attuned to like people's emotions and reactions, stuff like that, if they feel like it pertains to them. And for me personally, how that usually operates is, oh, I think somebody's mad at me and I'm like analyzing every fucking one of their damn emotions. Or when I'm talking to them, especially when I just met them, I'm talking to them, and then when they'll have certain reactions that I'm analyzing like the entire time. It's like a constant just like game of figuring out what they're thinking about me. When others disappoint me, I often get angry at myself.
I guess yeah, in the sense that like what could I have done to win? What could I have done to like like turn like those
And
tables? Because I deserve to win all the time. So I'm just like yeah, definitely.
do you get like angry at yourself, being like, oh, I was like, oh, I could have done that better. I'm stupid, whatever.
Yeah, because like it feels like I'm inadequate or like incompetent or like oh yeah, I hate it.
Same. Oh my god. Like seriously, it's like, oh, somebody. I get that. Like, oh my. I assume you have like the same kind of internal monologue where it's like very self-deprecating in terms of like, oh, you're a fucking moron for doing that. You're so much better than this and all these other people and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just like yeah, it's like yeah, like I'm bullying myself to be like be on the standard that I believe I'm supposed to be. Yeah.
Right. All right. Sacrificing for others makes me a better person.
Yeah, because it kind of makes me look like a martyr in a sense. It's like if I have to like okay, like if I did this, yeah, again, it's like I'm always bringing it back to Jesus, even for someone that's like yeah, not religious, but I'm just like yeah, it's like okay, I'm like a martyr. Like okay, like
If
you hung me, I hung myself on the cross for whoever you people like are that like okay,
you give and you give and you give, and people just tear you down. Yeah, like I get it. Like, and it's fucking hilarious that like you keep going to like Jesus because I'm like, man, that's some Freudian shit right there. Um, I often fantasize about accomplishing things that are probably beyond my means.
yeah. I mean, like I always hated the fact that like okay, like well, I mean, I'm at peace with death. I accept that it's gonna happen, but like I not gonna lie, I have had at times think like thought to myself like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to master anything based on like the limited amount of like time I have on Earth, where it's just
Yeah.
like if I were to hypothetically say I am the best at every single thing on the planet, then obviously I would gladly wear that title.
I mean, it's like again, I feel like that like because that's something that I've like thought a lot too. It's like, oh well, what's the point? Kind of mindset of like, oh well, like sure I could, but like like I'm gonna fucking die, so what difference will it make? Um, so sometimes I avoid people because I'm afraid they won't do what I want them to do. We get like a lot of these questions towards the end, a lot of these questions get very repetitive, but yeah, we kind of talked about this already. Um, it's hard to show others the weakness I feel inside.
I think so, yeah. Because like I even hate the question. People are like, "Oh, like what are your like greatest fears?" Or like, "Do you have any phobias?" I'm thinking, like, why the fuck would I tell you that? Like, well, why would I deliberately give you like a weakness or like something like that? Because like I know that you could potentially use it against me. Sure, I
So
mean I don't know if you will, but you can
yeah,
potentially use it against me.
that's interesting because like though that's a factor for me, like I'm like always kind of like, oh, this gives somebody an advantage over me to know my weaknesses. Like a big part of it, I didn't come conscious of this part of it till later, but it's also just like I just hate people knowing that like I have weaknesses in general. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, because I think to myself too that like okay, like whatever like weakness I have, I know somebody else on Earth is not struggling with it like whatsoever. So and I hate comparing myself to like somebody else that's like yeah, could be better because like whatever issue, yeah, someone else is
Yep.
not dealing with it.
I get that, dude. Like, that's why like it took me so long to like get into treatment is because like people would be like, because like I knew I was depressed to a certain degree when I was like growing up, but like everyone would be like, "Oh, I have anxiety and depression," and I was like, "Well, I can fucking handle it. I'm better than these people. I'm fine. Whatever. Who cares?"
Yeah, yeah, like you see like other people complaining, I'm just like, I look at those like crybabies or something. I'm just like, no, I'm
Exactly.
I'm fine.
Yeah. It's like I'm a god, damn it. It's hard to show up. Yeah, okay, the weakness I feel inside. Okay, yeah, all right. So that I get angry when criticized.
I mean, I don't know about angry, but I probably look visibly annoyed, or I'm probably just like, yeah, because like if you're not like
Yeah,
feeding the narrative that I want to feed myself, then I'm just like, it does make me feel pretty irritable. I'm not gonna lie.
it's like I feel like there's like I have like two reactions being criticized. The first one is I get angry because I feel like they're trying to shame me. Like they're like, "Oh, like you did this thing wrong," and I was like, and I'm like, "How fucking dare you?" Or I get like, or I like kind of spiral a little bit where I'm like, "Oh, I fucking hate myself. I'm a failure."
I wanna get combative like a lot of times. Like I want to make them feel like they're stupid. I'm like, your points are stupid because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And like if I accomplish that, it is so satisfying. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, no, dude, I feel it. I really feel it. It's hard to feel good about myself unless I know other people admire me.
Um, Yeah, because I think like if I spend too much time alone, I kind of forget that I'm alive. Like I didn't necessarily dissociate or anything like that, but I'm
Yeah,
just like
I know what you
it's
mean.
like I'm just like waiting for death.
Like, I don't even feel like a person anymore. It's like I feel like I'm like dissipating almost, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that is true.
I often fantasize about being rewarded for my efforts.
Yeah, because like I think like yeah, it just circles back again to like those fantasies about like being
Yeah,
like the best or like something like that. Because I'm just like I don't know. Because like honestly, like with how narcissistic I am, like I want to be criticized, not criticized. What am I saying? I want to be praised even just for like the bare minimum. Like
yeah,
how I wear my clothes, like the same thing. It's just way better than that other guy, or I
yeah.
don't know, or like how I sit is just more sophisticated than how that guy sits. I don't know.
Dude, it's the comparisons like all the time. It's like that's how I feel good about myself is like if I'm like that's like the one way to compliment me that like I won't think somebody's trying to manipulate me is when they're like you're the smartest person in the room or some shit like that. And I'm like, oh, it feels real because I'm being compared to somebody and there's like an objective way
Yeah,
to measure that. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, like they put other people down because like even if somebody's like hypothetically just like praising you without like bringing anyone else into it, it's like part of you can still question like are they just trying to like suck up to me? But like in the other instance, like they're actually saying that other people have a drop in quality, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm up there.
Because it's like okay, because like somebody can say like, oh, you're so smart, and I'd be like, okay, why what do you want? More or less. And then but then if they're like but if they're comparing me, like I have like a frame of reference and
Yeah,
like that I feel is like more objective. And that like oh that vindicates me so much. I love it. Okay, I'm preoccupied with my thoughts and concerns that most people are not wait, I'm preoccupied with thoughts and concerns that most people are not interested with me.
um, I guess, but I don't know, like I just try to focus on people that I hope will let's say praise me if like that's what I like desire or
Inter-
something.
yeah, because like what because like when I was like because like I have I get like a lot of anxiety about this actually, where I'm like in my like, you know, I'm just like thinking like, oh, this person actually doesn't like me. They think poorly of me. I get a text that like is too short, and I'm like, oh my god, they fucking despise me and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, or like yeah, they're trying to show this on the outside, but like deep inside, like they're saying a bunch of like I don't know negative
Yeah,
shit hypothetically. Yeah.
I hate it. Okay, I like to have friends who rely on me because it makes me feel important. That like, see, this is what I'm talking about like it getting repetitive. I sometimes avoid people because I'm concerned they won't acknowledge what I do for them.
I mean, I don't know if I really worry about that because like I don't necessarily like I keep to myself half the time still in a
Yeah.
way, to be honest. So I'm just like I don't worry about that.
Yeah. I mean, even me, like, because I'm concerned. I feel like this question just phrased really poorly because I don't really experience that. Everyone likes to hear my stories.
I feel like I probably get mixed reviews, but I'll still probably tell myself anyway that like most of them like it. Or like
No, I
or
feel that. And if they don't like it, they should.
yeah, exactly. Like I can reframe anything that's given to me like almost all the time and like make it out like okay, I'm still on top no matter what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So it's hard for me to feel good about myself unless I know other people like me.
Yeah, yeah, like I guess because I'm just like yeah, because like back again about the whole like who am I if like other people
Yeah.
are not involved somehow? Because like I'm just nothing if other people aren't involved somehow. So
Yeah,
yeah,
literally. I don't exist otherwise. It's fine. Um, it irritates me when people don't notice how good of a person I am.
yeah, I think so. Because like I think when I'm trying to tell people what to do, like
Yeah.
I think it's advice, but maybe to them I'm just like fucking like bossing them around. I think like I truly think I'm helpful. Like I truly believe that like if
Oh,
everybody just like followed what I said, this world would be closer to a utopia. So,
dude, I get that. It's like it's so obvious. How you guys not see that I'm like right about everything? Oh my god, it's funny. Like I like oh my, it's so constant too. It's like oh my god, I have thoughts on that. But I'm like, God, I'm trying to get through these because I'm like, man, like we talk too much, dude. We're too talky. I'll never be satisfied until I get all that I deserve.
I mean, yes and no. Because I feel like I don't know if anything will ever actually be good enough. Because I feel like I just have like an endless void. I don't know if it actually be filled. But I mean, like, sure, it's a closer step to think that, like, okay, if I got everything that I want, I don't
Yeah,
actually know if I'll be happy because what is happiness? But
that
yeah, closer.
like I have a very similar thought process because I'm like, well, we're never like I know logically that I'm like I'm never going to satisfy my ambitions, but I'm like might as well try. Okay, I try to show what a good person I am through my sacrifices.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
I don't have a big social life, if I'm being honest.
that's fair. Because like I again, it's like the phrasing of it. Like a lot of these phrasings that they have for like because that refers to self-sacrificing self-enhancement where we do things for other people to like feel better about ourselves. The phrasing that they use, I feel like it just does not appeal to my sensibilities. I'm disappointed when people don't notice me.
I guess only when I want them to, sure.
Okay, I often find myself envying others accomplishments.
Yeah, because like oh my gosh, I have a video about this where I spoke about how like because like a lot of religious people like to say that like oh my gosh the world is so like beautifully made and I'm just like hell nah, that's just like roll of the dice. Like
I was about
why
to
do you
say
have
this is all we're all chemistry, my dude.
like why do you have the functioning legs and like somebody else like doesn't? So I feel like a lot of people are where they'll dress it up with more nice sounding words like grateful and humble, but it's like yeah nobody wants to say things like this out loud, being like you're lucky you're not like that disabled person, you're not that like whatever, or somebody with this condition, and like that's not to
Yeah,
belittle them, but like you're lucky every single day that your genetics didn't decide okay I want to make you a whatever.
you're blind now. Cool. Okay, I often fantasize about performing heroic deeds. We literally talked
Yes,
about this before.
yeah. I was literally just talking earlier about like pushing
Yeah,
someone like out of the way and like save them from getting hit by a car. Yeah.
same, dude. Like, oh my god. Okay, give me. Oh, crap. 1 second. All right, I will be. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. Uh, maybe. How do I do this? Resume. Okay, but yeah. So yeah, I help other people to prove I'm a good person.
I guess so, yeah. Because I mean, like, even if it's not necessarily towards like other people, like the person I'm helping, like I can't deny that I'm giving a signal that like, okay, like I'm trying to show I'm on your side, quote unquote. Like that's
Yeah.
all I can do to
Oh
myself.
yeah. Oh, oh, dude, the wording that you use, perfect. I've been trying to think of a good wording for that for so long. It's like, oh, to like make them like me more and stuff like that. No, yeah, to like prove that loyalty and devotion almost. Like, oh yes, perfect.
We play for the same
Um,
team.
it's important to show people I can do it on my own, even if I have doubts inside.
Yeah. Because like honestly, I've had like okay. I mean, I feel like it's more fair in this case, but like it really pisses me off because like I can't think of like a specific example, but like I've had like certain conversations with people and like when somebody's like, oh, you wouldn't be able to do this. I'm just like, how the fuck do you know? I haven't even done it yet or something like that. And I'm just like,
Right.
I don't even know if I could, but I'm just like the fact that they're already saying that, like it already pisses me off. I'm not gonna count.
Dude, like, oh, dude, like I have moments where so like, this is such a stupid example, but like, I had a friend who had a party and had like a PowerPoint night, if you've seen that in like social media. And like, I made one that was fucking hilarious. I'm a genius. But, um, he, he was just talking about another person's PowerPoint during it and just saying, oh yeah, that one was funny as hell. And I felt personally offended. Like he was trying to say that mine wasn't good by complimenting somebody else's.
Oh,
You know, like, does that make
yeah,
sense? Like, it
yeah,
sounds
no,
great.
because it's like, yeah, it almost feels like a competition though. Because like, if there's like so many things and someone specifically only chooses to like go for this one, so it's like, what are they
Yeah.
implying about the rest? Yeah.
It's like, obviously you think like I'm worse if you're laughing at the other one. Like, oh, I hate it. I hate it. But yeah,
And it
okay.
almost
I
sounds
often,
like I don't
wait,
know, but
what's
I
that?
just want to say like I also want to say like, 'cause, like, but it almost sounds like pity even because like I don't even like it when like for example it's like when you like you're at school and then obviously there was like one kid that was like the best, but then the teacher still has to say everyone did a good job or everyone tried their best, and I'm just like fuck off. Well, why does he still have first place then?
Yeah, exactly. It's like second place is just a different term for losing. I often fantasize about being recognized for my accomplishments.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sure I did think that when I started making my YouTube videos in a way. Like that small part was there, I guess.
No, like honestly, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be the best one in the world. Or like whenever I do literally any hobby, swear to God. Uh, I can't I can't stand relying on other people because it makes me feel weak.
Yeah, because like I know like in an ideal world again, like if I just had everything I needed the moment I wanted it, and like yeah, like why would I ever have to rely on anyone? If anything, I would make other people rely on me if I had like all the sources to be the greatest. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like oh well, like because like relying on people implies dependency. It's like, oh, well, I need this person, therefore they're superior to me, and I can't do it on my own. It,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
When others don't respond to me the way that I would like them to, it's hard for me to still feel okay with myself.
I mean, in a way, because I'm just like, you're not following the script. Like, I was pretty sure if I said this, then it would like you would have more or less like said this. So I'm just like, you're throwing off the loop. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I have to scramble to like, I don't know. Yeah, so like, I don't like it.
There's also like self doubt that comes with it, for me at least, because it's always like, oh, like I'm relying on these people to basically affirm my effectively delusions. And when they don't, it's like, oh, well, what if I'm not the best thing that's ever existed? Oh no.
Yeah, and it makes me doubt like my skills of like being able to, I guess, just to be upfront, manipulate. Well, I mean, I don't mean that in
Yeah.
a bad way because I think everybody's manipulating, but I'm just like, yeah. So it's like, because like I think my skills are great, but if like there's a person and it's like not working in a certain situation, I'm just like, what the hell? Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. All right. I need others to acknowledge me.
Um, yeah. Again, when I want to, because I'm just like sometimes when people are hypothetically ignoring me, like I can imagine myself. It's like I would have to resist the urge to get in their face and fucking scream. Like,
Honestly, dude. Like it pisses when people ignore me, I just get like I'm like, what are you saying about me? I want to amount to something in the eyes of the world.
yes and no. Whether it's good
Okay.
or bad, I don't know. Because I'm just like, because even Hitler is gonna be remembered. So at least for as long as humans are around. So
And
like, I'm
like,
not saying I like want to be there per se, but I'm just like, it's like if people are saying extremely good or extremely bad, then I think like, okay, I have made an impact and I am powerful.
I won't lie. Like I've thought sometimes I've been like, you know, I wouldn't mind doing something Hitler-esque in order to be remembered. That sounds awful saying it out loud, but like that's a thought that has occurred to me.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, because like a lot of people think that like, for example, oh, their lives are worth something, yada yada yada, and this and that. But I'm just like, okay, more people are gonna talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, whatever, all these serial killers than these just like
Yeah.
regular folks who lived ordinary lives. I'm just like, is it though? Did your life make an impact? Like in a way, it didn't technically. That sounds fucked, but
It's so hard to say out loud because I'm like, this is like a really bad statement, but like, I want to be remembered. Okay. When others get a glimpse of my needs, I feel anxious and ashamed.
in a way, yeah. Because like I low key feel like I don't know, because like I think like when I'm asking people for help, I low key want to look to the side. It's like I don't even want to look at them because I'm just
Dude,
like it's
I
like I know
feel
what I'm
that,
doing, so I'm
dude.
just like
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I'm looking
It's
down. I'm like, what are we?
do you get like the issue where like I remember I have a very vivid memory where one time there was this girl who like I was just friends with, but she was trying to like say, "Oh, I care about you" and stuff like that. I literally couldn't even look her in the eye. I remember because she was like, "Look at me, I care about you," and I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I like looked away like as soon as she said it, and like she had to like hold my fucking head in place, so that like I wouldn't do that, and it was just so uncomfortable. People knowing my needs or expressing care, I'm like, oh, I don't like it.
Yeah, because even though like it is nice, it still looks like weakness.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird. I don't like it. Fuck it. All right. Sometimes it's easier to be alone than face not getting everything I want from other people.
Yeah, because at least like yeah, because like that's what I'm talking about. Like at times where it's like, okay, this is the closest to peace I'll get, even though I don't always like my emptiness. Like sometimes it's like, okay, it's almost zen in a way sometimes. Probably not the
Yeah.
same, but that's the closest I can attribute it to at times.
I usually relate this to like me avoiding at times in my life I've avoided applying to jobs because I was like just because of the humiliation of rejection and stuff like that. And it's like I can't stand the idea of people of having like this objective proof that I'm not as great as like I want to be. If that makes sense.
For sure.
Oh my god. Okay, I can get pretty angry when others disagree with me. It's like because I'm right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, because like a lot of people will point out, like, oh my gosh, you seem like you're mad, but I'm just like, well, like, yeah, stupidity is irritating to hear. Like, it really is.
It's like you're wrong. You're not listening to me. Come on.
I don't know, because like sounds like honestly, I'm not gonna cap. Like, even if like I do sound like pretty tense, I think people should just deal with it. Because like, I mean, like you're lucky if I'm not beating you up. That's
Be grateful that I'm not physically harming you. No, but all right, so it's done. And this is interesting. So I think that your kind of self-concept of thinking that of like being more covert than overt seems pretty accurate based on this test because again, it like does it based on both grandiosity and vulnerability. And basically it has three scores where it's like abnormally low, the middling average, and then like the extreme high. And for grandiosity, you were high, but like you were like basically on the line between high and
yeah, like
average, more or less. Then with narcissistic vulnerability, most of your scores were like the extreme. Uh because the under grandiosity, there's exploitiveness, which I think is your actually lowest score. Then there's self-sacrificing self-enhancement, which you're higher on, but then like that's obviously when like, oh, like I go on my way to do nice things to make
yeah,
myself
well,
feel better.
we'll just use this as proof then, because like I've had some people speculate that I have ASPD, but I'm just like, nah, MPD definitely makes more sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. Like I can't see. Like I've seen. Like, well, here's the thing: is that like things like contingent self-esteem, like needing other people to feel good about yourself. Like someone with ASPD, they'd score like a fucking zero. um, and like it's stuff like that. So, but yeah. So, and then grandiose fantasy, you score pretty high on. Same with contingent self-esteem, hiding the self, devaluing, entitlement, rage. Yeah, kind of scores I would expect.
Man, this was like I don't know about you, but like this was all pretty cathartic, honestly. Just like going out, like talking about these things and just like yeah, like releasing our yeah.
Yeah. No, fuck, I get it. Like for me, it's a little bit less nowadays just because like I do this so often where I just talk about
Oh
my
yeah.
like disorder and shit. But no, like I trust me, especially when I was first starting in crap, it was like, oh my God, the best feeling ever that like I felt heard and that I could just be real and shit. I get it. And like and honestly I experience that a lot more now than I in this conversation I do normally, just because like I it's like talking to somebody that I don't feel like I have to like hold back. But okay, so yeah, I want to wrap up here though because I got things to do. But anyways, it was a pleasure having you. Where can people find you if they want to like watch your YouTube and crap?
YouTube.com/stonerchill, and like what I said before, there's more social medias in the description. I'll comment on the video. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
just anyone
I was
watching,
in
just
that
click
then.
on that. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, all right. Thank you everybody who has watched, and take your fucking meds, please. There you go.